Hello Saberland, Vader's Vault here, showing you our operational and maintenance guide for our Combat Class Series sabers. Whether you're new to the custom saber world or just new to the Vader's Vault way of doing sabers, this guide is here to show you basic operations and maintenance of your Combat Class Series saber. Our Combat Class Series was designed for the active saberist, somebody who wants something that feels like a real weapon, very comfortable in the hand, slim and sleek, very easy to wield and carry for long periods of time. All of our sabers in the Combat Class line are powered by the Plector Labs Crystal Shard soundboard. Like all of the Plector Labs boards that we carry here at Vader's Vault, it is a two-switch operation saber, meaning you have a main switch for your activation and deactivation of the saber, and an auxiliary button for activating your auxiliary effects, menu operation, and other features. We'll get into those in just a little bit. When you get your saber, you'll have everything comes separately. The hilt will be wrapped separately. You will get a blade with a vinyl dust cap to protect it from particulates and other dust from getting inside. A 332 size hex wrench for operating the blade retention set screw. You will get a 2-channel quick charger for charging your battery cells. The battery that comes with the saber will already be installed. The saber has a sleep mode to keep it from going dead during storage time or while it's on your belt or just sitting on a shelf. So the saber itself will be in sleep mode when you get it out of the box. Now to wake the saber up out of sleep mode, you can press either of the two buttons on the saber, either the main activation anti-vandal switch up top here or the low profile auxiliary switch on the bottom. Either one will wake the saber from sleep mode, or you can go directly into changing your sound banks or any other of the other features. When you want to put your blade in, simply take the vinyl dust cap off the end of the blade, put it somewhere safe so it doesn't get lost, and then slide the blade into the end of the saber. Make sure it's seated snugly against the optics module, and use the provided hex wrench key to tighten the hex wrench, or the hex screw snug against the blade. Not too tightly, but you'll feel it when it gets nice and snug on the blade and the blade doesn't shift. The blade retention screw is always the screw closest to the end of the saber. The other retention screw that is next to the auxiliary switch is used to hold the optics cannon, and we'd rather you not touch that because that would make things bad. Okay. So to wake the saber up, like I said, press either of the buttons just once to tap it, and you will hear it boot up into the last sound bank that the saber was used in. Now that you've heard the boot sound, the saber is ready to turn on and use. So you can put in a blade, tighten your hex wrench, and then press the activation button. Press and hold for just a short duration and it will turn the saber off. Now, each of these sabers comes with 3 pre-installed sound fonts. The saber itself can actually hold up to 6. So if you want any other extra sound banks, you can go to www.saberfont.com and peruse and purchase from over 250 different sound fonts on that site to add to your saber. When you have the saber on, you have your normal swings and your clashes, as well as the blade effects that come with those, but you also have the auxiliary effects like the blaster block and the lockup feature, that are used with the auxiliary button. When the saber is off, the auxiliary button allows you to access the menu and change sound fonts. Simply press and hold this auxiliary button to change sound banks. You will hear the boot sound for each sound bank as you move through. When you've gotten to the sound bank that you want to use, simply let the boot sound play and then you're ready to go. Okay, take the blade out for a moment. When it comes time to change your battery or charge your battery, It is actually very simple to access the chassis that holds the battery, or if you want to access your SD card on the soundboard for doing any parameter changes or adding any or changing any sound fonts. Simply carefully unscrew the pommel at the back, set it off to the side. You can either gently shake the saber or tap it onto your palm until the chassis here comes out enough to grab it. The chassis is a very rugged, one-piece machined Delrin chassis to hold both the battery holder and the sound card in a very snug, secure position and isolate everything from the metal hilt. As you can see, the sound card is here at the back of the saber with the SD card right here. To access the SD card, you would simply take your battery out, pop the SD card out, and make any changes that you want to make on the computer. Put the SD card back in, put the battery back in, and you're ready to go. When you put the battery back in, you will hear the saber automatically boot, so it will not be in sleep mode at that time. It is also important to note the polarity of the battery. The battery has a positive and negative end, just like any other battery, but it's very important that you put the right end at in the right spot on the battery holder, or you could cause damage to the saber and the battery. The positive end of the battery is the end that has the little tab on the end, and it goes towards the front of the saber or the emitter of the saber. Always remember that. When you're done making any changes or you're charging your battery and you put everything back in, just carefully slide the chassis back in. When it gets to where you run out of room in there, do not push on the speaker. This is very important. This is a very compact saber, so the speaker goes almost to the edge of the chassis. When you get to the point and you have to push the chassis in, push on the outside of the Delrin chassis piece. Careful not to push in on the speaker. You can get it just past the end of the saber, and then you can let the pommel push the chassis the rest of the way in as you carefully tighten the pommel back in. And that's easy peasy there. Alright, now another feature that the Crystal Shard soundboard is able to do, for those of you who select the RGB upgrade option, this is the color changing option. The Crystal Shard 2.5 now has the ability to change colors on the fly within any sound font without turning off the saber or changing the sound bank. You get up to 10 different colors that you can switch between. We will have a preset bank of 10. Any person who orders a saber that has a different color requested that is not on our standard 10 colors, we will add that in. But otherwise you'll be able to select from any of those 10 colors. The saber will actually remember which color you left off on each font, no matter when you turn the saber off or scroll to a different sound bank. So let me show you a bit how that works. It is a simple button combo that you press to change colors. Okay, with the saber off, you turn it on like normal, and you'll get the blade color that's on that particular sound font. To change colors is simply pressing the main activation switch and the auxiliary switch at the same time. You will hear a sound that indicates the color change, and you will also see the color fade into the next color. Easy as that. And you can change it as many times as you want while the saber's on, so you can go from light side to dark side colors and everything in between. And like I said, no matter what color you leave it off on when you turn the saber off, it's always going to be set for that sound font until you change it again. Another good feature of this particular update to the sound card is the mute on the go feature. We know a lot of people that like to practice in their homes at night, or when they don't need sound or can't have sound for some reason or another. You can boot the saber up in a mute mode, so you get all the lighting effects but without the sound. So to do so, you would press the activation button on like normal, but also hold the auxiliary button while you're turning it on. There we go. I actually had the button pressed wrong. So you would hold the auxiliary button in first, then press the activation button, and you'll get the mute. Now you also get all the flash effects or any pulse effects or flicker effects that you would normally have with the saber in sound mode, but you get it all in mute mode. Now it will confirm that you are in mute mode and not just have no sound. When you turn the saber off, you will hear the retraction sound. And to boot it back up in normal mode with audio, just turn it on like normal. Alright, so mute mode, hold the auxiliary button, then press the main switch, and you turn it on. Press hold to turn off, and you can activate it like normal. One of the many great features of that soundboard. So we hope you guys enjoy your new combat class saber from Vader's Vault. And if you have any questions on operation or maintenance of the sabers, please feel free to email us at sabersmith@vadersvault.com. And make sure to look out for new products at our store. And if you have not registered as a customer on the store, please do so you get our newsletter on the new and upcoming products, sales, and other news. Thanks so much from Vader's Vault, and enjoy your saber.